Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another character guide for HSR, and today we're taking a look at our new character, our little adorable friend, HuoHuo, or HuoHuo. However it's said, I'm going to call her HuoHuo. This character is our new healer. She's a part of the Abundance Path, and she's the element of wind, which is always good to see. And in this video, we're going to take a look at everything to do with her abilities, skills, her kit, how she works, and how she functions. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with her skills, I'm gonna mention her basic attack just briefly, as it deals at level 6 50% of HuoHuo's max HP to a target enemy. Now that is a very key bit of information, as not many characters do max HP damage with an ability. And if you think about it, 50% of your max HP can actually equate to a lot of damage depending on your scaling. Instead of it being attack, your HP can go a lot higher. So just remember that she could be an auto attack DPS if you want her. But I'm getting sidetracked, going on to where it actually starts getting good. The skill Talisman of Protection, or Talisman Protection. You dispel one debuff from a single target ally and immediately restore this ally's HP by an amount equal to 21% of HuoHuo's max HP plus 56, and at the same time restore HP for allies that are adjacent to this target ally by the amount of equal to 16.8% of HuoHuo's max HP plus 448, sorry. That's pretty self-explanatory. She does a single target bit of healing and then adjacent healing. It's kind of, if you structure your team in a certain way, if you put HuoHuo on the very end of the team, you can kind of heal all three of your other allies with one single button completely. Pretty good, and the values themselves at level 10, 21, and 16.8 is pretty decent. Nothing really to kind of complain about there. Moving swiftly on to the ultimate, Talisman, I believe it's meant to say, a spiritual domination. Regenerate energy for all allies, excluding HuoHuo, by an amount equal to 20% of their respective max energy, and at the same time, increase their attack by 40% for 2 turns. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds pretty goddamn good. So essentially, you have an AoE version of Ting Yun's ultimate. You have energy regeneration by a smaller percentage, but you also have attack percent boosting, which is pretty good for all characters. This kind of means that you probably could run a triple DPS comp with just HuoHuo as a support healer, and it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But taking that out of consideration, just generally speaking, you're increasing your whole team's damage, which is amazing in my opinion. So pretty good ultimate. Moving nextly onto the very long to explain talent Possession Ethereal Metaflow. After using her skill, HuoHuo gains the Sacrificed Life, lasting for 2 turns. This duration decreases by 1 turn at the start of HuoHuo's each turn. If HuoHuo has sacrificed life when an ally's turn starts, or when an ally uses their ultimate, restore HP for that ally by an amount equal to 4.5% of HuoHuo's max HP plus 120, and then at the same time, every ally with 50% HP or lower gets healed once. When Sacrificed Life is triggered to heal allies, dispel one debuff from that ally. This effect can be triggered up to 6 times. Using the skill again resets the effect's trigger count. That's a lot to take in, but simply put, you use HuoHuo's skill and you get a 2-turn based on HuoHuo's turns. Heal to allies whenever they have a turn, essentially. And at the same time, allies that are below 50 will get healed a bit. And then also you dispel debuffs from allies that trigger their heal with sacrificed life. Which is, again, still even when summarized, is a lot to take in. But simply put, using your skill has a dot-like effect. Moving on to the technique, Fiend Impeachment of Evil. HuoHuo terrorizes surrounding enemies, inflicting horror struck on them. Enemies in the horror struck will flee away from HuoHuo for 10 seconds. When entering combat with enemies in horror struck, there is a 100% base chance of reducing every single enemy's attack by 25% for 2 turns. Now, don't get me wrong, it sounds great, and reducing the enemy's attack by 25% is good, but it's nothing too crazy, to be honest. It's okay if you want to live, but if the enemy should be dying before you die in any case, so it's fine, I guess. And lastly, of her basic kit, the bonus abilities. Number 1, Stress Reaction to Horror. When her talent is triggered to heal allies, HuoHuo regenerates 1 energy, and as we know, her talent can actually heal quite a bit if it does a lot of below 50% healing. Bonus ability number 2, the cursed one, the chance to resist crowd control effects, crowd control debuffs, sorry, increases by 35%. Again, very good. And the last one, number 3, fearful to act. When the battle starts, HuoHuo gains sacrificed life lasting 1 turn. So you immediately gain your talents effect straight away at the start of a fight for 1 turn. And overall, HuoHuo is pretty good. I would say the best parts of her kit are her ultimate and her skill. That's, I feel like, where she'll shine the most, as it's kind of like the stuff that's really just raw and it's just big and juicy. As for her talent, it's there. It's kind of like a supporting thing. It's not going to be the primary feature of the character, which obviously it's not even meant to be the primary feature, but it's kind of a lot to take in for that talent. But generally speaking, her ultimate is damage and energy regeneration, and damage boosting, I should say, and her skill is juicy healing to 3 characters on your team, the main target and adjacent ones. Overall, pretty good healer. Will she be better than Luocha? Maybe, maybe not, but she's definitely better than Bailu and Natasha. So if you need a healer, go for this one. Eidolons, though, again, very powerful, so let's get into them. Taking a look at number 1, Anchored to Vessel, Spectres Nestled. The duration of sacrificed life produced by the talent is extended by 1 turn, and then when HuoHuo possesses sacrificed life, all allies' speed increases by a goddamn juicy 12%, ladies and gentlemen. A very powerful Eidolon, essentially increasing the value of your healing, and your whole team gets a 12% speed boost, god damn it, whilst your talent is active, which is just activated by a skill usage. Ah, absolutely amazing. Number 4, Tied in Life, Bound to Strife. When healing a target ally via a skill or talent, the less HP the target ally currently has, the higher the amount of healing they will receive. The maximum increase in healing provided by HuoHuo is 80%. Essentially, the lower the HP of the character, the higher the healing received. Simply put, it's fine. And then lastly, E6, Woven Together, Cohere Forever. When healing a target ally, increase the target's ally's damage dealt by 50% for 2 goddamn turns. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a very powerful E6 for a goddamn healer. Essentially, when you heal a target ally, 50% damage boost for them for 2 turns. To put that in perspective, I believe Bronya's elemental skill, or her skill, is about a 60 or a 50% damage boost to a single target. Now, taking HuoHuo into consideration, her skill can heal 3 characters at a time, meaning you're giving 3 characters Bronya's skill effect. You combo these characters together, and whoever's getting both of them is doing juicy damage. Her E6 is her powerful mode, the most powerful thing that you can think of. But my recommendation, if you want to pull for this character and get very good value, E1 is going to be the one that I recommend, as that speed boost is also ridiculously powerful. Essentially, just to kind of put it into, like, you know, not theoretical, but potentially practical use, you're going to have a permanent speed increase by 12%. I feel like you're not going to be often running out of sacrificed life stacks, taking into consideration that they only reduce by 1 when HuoHuo has a turn. And so you can probably have them up perpetually, so it's a permanent 12% speed increase, which is extremely powerful. But if you're a whale and you go for E6 HuoHuo, well, congratulations, you have a juicer, support, healer, whatever the hell you want to classify this as. Going on to Light Cones, her best in slot, as per usual, Night of Fright. Her signature one is going to be the best for her. It simply plays to her strong suit. Energy regeneration rate by 12% is increased, and then when an ally uses their ultimate, the wearer restores HP for the ally currently with the lowest HP percentage by an amount equal to 10% of the healed ally's max HP. When the wearer provides healing for an ally, increase the healed ally's attack by 2.3%. This effect can stack up to 5 times and last for 2 turns. Simply put, it's buffing, it's healing, it's energy regeneration rate. This is her best. So there's nothing too complicated about that. For the other 5 stars, Echoes of the Coffin, which is Luocha's, it's not bad. It's attack percent scaling, so I wouldn't recommend it for that case. But the last part does have, after the wearer uses their ultimate, all allies gain 12 speed. That's not terrible, as it is buffing to the team, but I wouldn't use it just because the other parts of the effect don't really do much for you. And as for Bailu's, it's fine. That's all I'll say. It's a long read, but HP increase and outgoing healing increase, it's fine. This one is perfect. 4 stars is where I actually want to talk about it. So we have a brand new 4-star light cone, Hey over here, which is going to be released in this patch in 1.5. But the knowledge of how to acquire this is not quite with me. I think it's a event limited, but if it is on the banner, then it's just a banner one. But as for what it does, it increases the wearer's max HP by 8%. When the wearer uses a skill, increase outgoing healing by 16. It's a simple version of buy lose, but it's still effective as there is a higher chance of getting this at R5, which makes it very powerful. So this one is going to be probably her best in slot for the 4 stars. Other good ones, Shared Feeling is fine, increases the wearer's outgoing healing by 10%, and then when using a skill, regen 2 energy for all allies. It's perfect for her. And then last one, Perfect Timing is not the worst thing I've read, but it's also not the best thing I've read. Increases the wearer's effect resistance by 16, and increases outgoing healing by an amount that is equal to 33% of your effect resistance. Outgoing healing can be increased this way by 15%. It's fine. It's the last one I'd recommend. The best one for 4 stars, Hey over here. Best one for 5 stars, Night of Fright. Most of them work just fine. As for gears and stats, Messenger of Traversing Hackerspace is an interesting choice by HuoHuo, and it probably will be the best choice, as it is the speed set. Increases speed by 6% on 2 set, and then 4-piece when the wearer uses their ultimate, speed of all allies increases by 12%. This will probably be your best choice. Go for it. It's what you're mostly going to be running on most of your supports. Maybe the 2 set, maybe the 4 set, but Messenger of Traversing Hackerspace is going to be mostly the best. As for the planar ornament, Fleet of the Ageless, it's probably also going to be the best for any HP scaling character or any character that you want to use for pure supporting reasons, as that last part, all allies attack increases by 8%, is like stackable up to 3 times. So Fleet of the Ageless is there. Broken Keel is pretty much on the same level. You can kind of interchange Fleet of the Ageless with Broken Keel in any manner. It's not too, there's not too much variation in value, crit damage, or attack percentage. They're practically the same. And as for Penacony Land of the Dreams, it depends on if you're running a wind character. If you are running HuoHuo with a blade, for instance, you may want to run Penacony Land of the Dreams, as it increases the damage for all other allies with the same damage type as the wearer, as well as has that energy recharge, so you're going to be able to use your HuoHuo ultimate a lot more frequently. But it all depends on team composition with Penacony of the Land of Dreams. Back onto the relic sets, you're probably just not going to be running these last 2, Passerby Wandering Cloud and Guard of the Wuthering Snow. You're just probably not going to be running them. They're just not high value. Messenger of Traversing Hackerspace is the best one. Onto the actual main stats of the gears. Outgoing healing, probably if you want the character to be able to sustain your team for a long time. So outgoing healing may be the choice. Probably go for that one. Speed is the obvious one for the boots. 100% go for speed. HP for scaling and energy regeneration rate, or HP is interchangeable here. Probably energy regeneration rate for the string, just because you want frequency on your ultimate. HPs for scaling, energy regen for frequency. And lastly, team composition. So HuoHuo is a healer, as we've established, but she's also an extremely potent buffer. Her ultimate does give a 40% attack boost and energy to the character's respective 20% of their energy. So she is a very, very good general buffing and damage supporting unit, and she can probably do a bit of damage on the side. But those are her 2 primary roles, healer and damage booster support. So you're going to be running her kind of in that role. Now, it should be said that you can do certain builds with Penacony Planar Ornament when that does release. You can kind of do very specific supports. You can run her with Blade and Bronya to get a very wind-based like team, and it's going to be very powerful there because you're getting a lot of wind damage, buffing to Blade, frequency of ultimate, as well as a huge turn refreshing with Bronya. So that's going to be an incredible team comp. But if we're talking in a general sense, she's going to fill that role. She's not going to exactly replace Ting Yun. I don't think that's going to be the case, but you are most likely going to run HuoHuo alongside a Ting Yun, as I think they will be able to work very well together with both of their ultimates giving energy to targets. And if you think about it, I believe Ting Yun gives 60 flat energy, I think, or it's maybe somewhere around 90 with constellations or eidolons, and HuoHuo gives 20% of their respective max energy. You're going to be able to get a lot of energy to one character, maybe even cycling their ultimate one whole time in one turn cycle. So under that kind of impression, you can kind of run her with any main DPS. The higher the ultimate cost, obviously the slightly less effective, but that shouldn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things. And generally speaking, with a few other sets that you run, like Traversing Hackerspace, you can get a lot of speed increase. she's just the whole package at this point. She's a buffing, healing, damaging, boosting tank of a character. So she's very powerful. You can run her in most things as she is just abundance, healing, boosting. And that's going to be the wrap for this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, like and sub, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.